What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's Wednesday. It's almost 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to show off a little something that I did. It's kind of cute. Actually, I talk about Midjourney here and there. I love playing around with it. I've been using it for a lot of stuff. And I created this little guy. I created a 3D render of one of my Murder of Crows NFTs. And I just posted it to Twitter. And yeah, I don't know. Like it, share it, retweet it. Have fun. Help me promote. If you don't have one, just click this link right here and mint yourself a few or 100 or however many you want. Yeah, that's the Murder of Crows NFT collection. Stop with the Cardano video. Talk about the market. Cardano is forgotten. You're such a troll. That's kind of funny. You're insane if you think Cardano is forgotten. You're like truly like, I don't know. Well, are you a Solana holder? What's your name? Baby2? I bet you have some Solana, don't you? You're all about it. You're waiting for that to pump. Or maybe you have Luna. That was another really big one that a lot of trolls loved. Charles Hoskinson says he'll run $1 million ADA experiment with new Cardano wallet to test security. Now, this is all the way back in December 27th of 2022. And basically said that, this was a long time ago. And he's basically saying, I trust this. He's talking about Lace Wallet. I guess there were some people that were like, oh, we don't like this because there's not big, long passwords and all kinds of stuff. And, it was silly. He's like, I do trust it. I think this is the way to go. And I'm going to bet $1 million on it. And yeah, that seemed to have gone pretty well because we haven't heard anything since then. But before we dive even deeper into what's going on, this is still in play, folks. I mean, this is nuts, but it is still in play. This is my Wyckoff accumulation pattern I drew out way back. I've adjusted it here and there, little bits. And man, when we got this pump up where we wicked to like $26,500, I thought, oh my gosh, this whole Wyckoff pattern may very well be getting discontinued. And I was a little down about it, honestly, because I'm like, I thought I had this pegged. And I said, if we close on a daily above this, then it's done. Like, it's probably not going to continue playing out from here. And then we're going to have to start over. But sure enough, that daily candle closed below. And all right, you want to zoom out? Let's zoom out. I guess you want to copy this down on your charts, and there you go. I've got my lines of support and different variable lines here on the right those change on a regular basis for me. But yeah, we started all the way up here, like 48,197. And that started our accumulation pattern. And I believe that this started off as an accumulation 1. And originally I thought it might be an accumulation 2. And I was going back and forth. But no, I think this was an accumulation 1. We got the spring all the way back here at 15.5. And that was it. And that was likely where we bottomed. So I don't necessarily think that we're going to be going lower and seeing new lows. But I do believe that this is where this is playing out still. Even in the midst of all of this banking stuff. It's so funny because my liberal friend George, yes, I know I'm making my liberal friend George famous on YouTube. I don't even know if he knows it, but he sends me this thing. He always ignores everything I send him. He acts like he reads it, but he doesn't. I can tell by his comments because he doesn't read anything factual. But he sends me this thing this morning about how everybody's blaming Trump now for this bank fallout. And I'm thinking to myself, man, the Trump derangement syndrome is truly, truly real. And I said, but how do you explain all of the banks collapsing in other countries that are basically liberal controlled right now? Like, why is this happening all over the place? I'm like, how do you blame Trump for that? And then he just basically went away. And he didn't say anything else. It's like if they can't just blame Trump for everything, they don't have anything to say. It's really silly because like I said in my rant video, I'm not a fan of Trump either, but I am definitely not a fan of just flat out bullshit. I mean, it drives me nuts. This Trump derangement syndrome. It really is a real thing. Where these people are so programmed and so brainwashed to hate Trump for every possible thing they can. And it's like, man, if there's anybody that lives in liberals' heads rent free, it is Orange Man. And it's like, listen, folks, there's a hell of a lot more going on than just shit that Trump did years ago. He's not even in office anymore. Okay, let him go. It's like it's a dead issue at this point. I don't think he's ever going to be president again. I think it would be a big mistake if he even tried. Personally, I think he should just leave well enough alone. I think we need somebody. We need Kiefer Sutherland to run for president because I want the designated survivor to run for office and hopefully change some of this bullshit around. Because honestly, I've just had enough of I've had enough of both agendas playing out. Back and forth. The pendulum swings back and forth. One side thinks they're winning, and then whatever they created to fight the bad guys is then used against them, and then they're victims again, and it goes back and forth. And I'm just over it. We need somebody that's truly right down the middle, very bipartisan, who can basically work with the left, work with the right, make some shit happen for the public, not some grand agenda that was conjured up in Sweden or wherever, or Switzerland. And we need to get out of this, man. We really need to get out of this. But anyway, the long and short of it is this is still in play, and I'm happy to see it. Maybe we come down and we see 22,000 again. If we do, I'm probably going to dump a few bucks into Bitcoin. I've got a couple and that's fine, but I'd like to have a little handful of Bitcoin, maybe that I don't ever touch, for years to come, but we will see. Crow, you should have shared your TradingView chart with us so the masses can follow it on the regular. I do share. I show it all the time. I've been showing it for a long time. If you're meaning like share it on TradingView, I don't know. I mean, I could, but I change it. You know what I mean? I change it sometimes, and I change time frames, and I change a lot of lines. It's not like a set it and forget it type of thing because I'm paying attention. As a matter of fact, let's take a quick look. There is a link for the high blocks in the description below. So if you're into this and you love this functionality, check it out. I mean, it's not free, but there are a lot more tools on here also that I just don't typically use. But let's take a look at liquidity levels in the short term and kind of what's popping here. Some very, very bright lines. So you can see here, we crashed through this 24,000. We ate that up. Then we came back up. We were hunting, nothing here. And there's nothing in the direct bottom here. We see the brightest concentration of liquidity around 25,225, which is still under my Wyckoff patterns line. Okay. But if you see down here, we have some liquidity forming up at 23.8 and then very, very bright at 23,800. So when I look at my chart here, I mean, I'm about right here. I set this yesterday, this yellow line here. And then we got this, and I'm still kind of adjusting. I'm going to make a grand adjustment to just more like the time scales. Like the levels may very well be the same as we continue to play out, but it's just like this might be over here, and it might be elongated or shortened, and that's kind of what I'm trying to take into account. Because if you look at a lot of the patterns here, a lot of them are playing out in a relatively similar time frame, right? With some variables, but it's still pretty, and that tells me like, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to measure like from start to finish, what the average start to finish time of any given Wyckoff accumulation or distribution pattern is, because I think that would actually help quite a bit in predicting where this green line should be projected at. So anyway, but yeah, that's my Wyckoff. It's still in play. So folks, it seems like every time we hit this 25 level, we drop below it. Maybe we come back down here somewhere around 22,000. And then from there, that'll be the lowest. If we do drop to this point, I'm likely going to pick up a couple Bitcoin and let that be that. And so now that's all fine and dandy. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson says crypto should cut ties with banks. Now, this all sounds great, and obviously it would be a really big deal. The problem is that we're not in any position where cryptocurrency can truly it's here's the thing. Those of us in crypto, we look at it as something we know, we love, we want to use. The majority of us, the vast majority of us, don't really use it for anything outside of speculation, NFTs, gaming, maybe some metaverse stuff, DeFi yields, because we all love to get rug pulled because we're greedy and we don't do dumb shit with some of these DeFi applications because we think we're going to get rich quick. And that's the majority of the use case right now. And we don't have anything, you know, that's driving major adoption to the to those who are just not all that familiar with crypto. And so because of that, you know, the layman's, the normal everyday person that's not really tied in or privy to crypto, they like the idea of being able to swipe their little card and, you know, write a check for rent or whatever the case may be. And that's where they have comfort. That's what they've been raised on. It's what we've all been raised on. So it's really up to us early adopters to continue utilizing this blockchain stuff and creating new use cases for it that will continue to reach into the minds and the hands of those a little less privy to the technology. And only then do I really see us being able to cut ties with the banks. And so, you know, but I mean, Charles is right. Because a lot of these banks, and it's funny because you can see this very focused attack on crypto-friendly banks. You know, like there's a rumor, like, why did Signature Bank get shut down? That wasn't even that big of a deal, other than it was a very crypto-friendly bank. And so we saw this, what seemed to be like a coordinated attack on otherwise crypto-friendly banks. And you know, these people, they want to keep. Here's the thing: until CBDCs come into play, crypto is still the enemy. And until regulation is formulated to a point where they feel like they can be more in control of cryptocurrency-based transactions on exchanges, on DeFi, on whatever, I'm telling you, and it's still, I still wholeheartedly believe that when CBDCs are officially issued in the United States, the regulations will play out to the degree that all exchanges are going to have to on-ramp and off-ramp from crypto into CBDCs before they do anything else. I'm telling you, that's going to be a thing. Now, this is maybe my big, crazy conspiracy theory prediction of all time, but that's just the way I see it, because through CBDCs, they can control who cashes out, who doesn't, when, where those funds go from the point of cashing out. And, you know, I guarantee, crawfish and country fried steak. That there are going to be bodies within the IRS that are going to be specifically tracking CBDC inflow, outflow, and making sure that they've got a record of what everybody is doing, utilizing these, and then some. Okay, there's so many layers to this, and I'm sure it's all being worked on in some dark room underground somewhere that was built by Elon. So yeah, my eyes are bothering me for some reason. So anyway, yes, I am very much invested in Cardano. I have a substantial sum. And I might be done buying Cardano at this point. It depends on what happens. Now, if we were to drop to 20 cents, I'm throwing another big order in. But I don't really see that happening. So let's get to the point of this video, shall we? Enough people have trickled into the live chat now, and I want your comments on this. I want your likes. I want your subscribes. Every time I get to almost 140,000 subs, I lose 12 or 15. I don't know what's happening. Am I just too old for you? Is that what it is? Is it the salt and pepper that keeps you away? Is it my voice? Does my voice do something to you? It drives you away? I don't know. Maybe I need more flashy graphics and like little animated memes or something like that to entertain the youth of the crypto generation. Maybe they'll stick around. So Cardano is down 90% from its all-time high of $3.10 in September of 2021. This so-called Ethereum killer was started by Ethereum co-founder Charles Hoskinson, who wanted to create a more sustainable, accessible, and secure blockchain platform, which he's very much doing. Cardano's momentum is attracting developers and projects to build on its platform, making it an exciting platform to watch for long-term success. These are the the little cliff notes here. Current price is 32 cents, although I think it's actually down to 31.8. Or 31.8. I can't check it because, well, all right, I can't look right now. All right. So this is the Motley Fool. And why is this important to me? The Motley Fool actually holds a very sentimental value to me. It holds so many of you who have been following me since 2017 in my very early days of crypto know the story of my late uncle, who was like my father. He's like the closest thing I ever had to a father figure. His son is in my live chat right now, Alex. Who's big into crypto, and he's in all my videos, and like I've talked about this story so many times, so I won't get into it too deep. But ultimately, he had created an entire dividend portfolio of traditional stocks through the Motley Fool. He did everything with the Motley Fool, and he subscribed to their newsletter. He told me flat out, he's like, I buy what they tell me to buy, I sell what they tell me to sell, and I just grow it over time. And he did very, very well from that. And it was his lesson in that got me into using like the Robinhood app back in the day before I realized what it was. And he got me into the Motley Fool, and he would send me his newsletter, because I couldn't really afford it. I don't even remember what it is. It was like $100 a month, or I don't remember what it was, but it was a very valuable and insightful newsletter. And I've always been kind of a fan of the Motley Fool, and basically what the Motley Fool ultimately helped my uncle do before his passing, the way I'm sure it impacted his family and ultimately my family. And so I was very curious to see what the Motley Fool had to say about Cardano. And I was like, I was cringing for a minute, because I'm like, oh man, I really hope they like Cardano, because it means a lot. Well, lo and behold, they do. And I'm very, very happy to see that. I read this whole thing today, and I'm like, I'm going to share some of it with you. I won't read the entire thing, but I was very, very happy to see their thoughts on this. Here's how the smart contract platform plans to climb back to the top and exceed its former all-time highs of $3.10. Spoiler alert, it could take a while. But such is the life. Such is the way things are. We have a while. The halving's not even for another year. I'm not pressed for time when it comes to Cardano's price action. Many cryptocurrencies have taken dramatic price cuts since the fall of 2021. Among them, the smart contracts platform Cardano is down 90% from its all-time high of $3.10 on September that year. Cardano has traded below $1 per token since early April of last year. The recovery attempt that started 2 months ago lost steam in the Silvergate meltdown of mid-February. As a result, many Cardano owners wonder whether their tokens will ever be worth $1 a piece again. So this I will contend by saying the majority of people that hold Cardano right now aren't worried about whether or not it's going to break $1. Okay, this is good for reading, but ultimately, I'm not concerned whatsoever. This is no different to me than when Bitcoin was $4,000 and I got in this really heated debate with some guy who thought he knew so much about Bitcoin and crypto, swearing it would never break $8,000 again. And I bet him a Bitcoin. I'm like, I'll bet you a Bitcoin. And I've seen him like 2 or 3 times since then, and I don't even bother bringing it up because he knows. He knows who daddy is. It's this guy. So anyway, I'm not worried about Cardano and breaking $1. I think if it doesn't break at least $5, I'd be disappointed. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But anyway, I'm convinced Cardano will not only climb back to $1, but also exceed its former all-time highs. However, these gains are not necessarily right around the corner. As always, patience is a virtue. Let me show you why I believe in Cardano's long-term future, even if there may be more potholes in the road ahead. So we can see the ebbs and flows of the market cycles and so forth. And some of the main you've got volume, 52-week range down to 24 cents, which I wish I would have bought a whole bunch then, and I didn't because I was waiting for something lower. But I have been averaging in, so cool. Hoskinson Vision, the birth of Cardano. Cardano is a cryptocurrency with some serious intentions, meaning it's not just trying to make a quick buck. Exactly. It was started by Charles Hoskinson, who turned away from traditional cryptocurrency game to build something new. See, Hoskinson used to work on Ethereum, but he had some questions about the direction the leading smart contracts crypto was going. He thought most cryptocurrencies had some big limitations, like being unable to handle many users, and he wanted to fix that. So he founded Cardano in 2017 to create a more sustainable, accessible, and secure blockchain platform. Sure, Ethereum is going through a series of ambitious technical upgrades to right many of its wrongs, but why not start over with a new cryptocurrency platform and better system design from day one? I love you, Motley Fool. Thank you for saying what so many of us have continued to try and say, often to be ignored by some troll that bought Solana at the high. Cardano is distinguished by its approach to development, rooted in the scientific method. Rather than rushing to implement changes without a deep understanding of their implications, Cardano project leaders take the time to study and test their ideas before making any significant decisions. This is what you want in a grand international enterprise level blockchain, folks. This is how it's supposed to be done. Just because we have a lot of people out there trying to cash grab on this new technology that rarely works, and if it does work, not for very long, all just to try and be cash grabs in a space. And then they get these venture capital firms that join in with them and they fund development, and then they throw a shit ton of money at marketing to try and create a narrative to get you to buy in on the sentiment and the hype and the FOMO, only for it to come crashing down, likely to never see the light of day 2 years later. That's not what Cardano's been doing, is it? Thank you. This ensures Cardano remains well planned and a thoughtfully executed platform. In addition to its scientific research, Cardano also stands out for its unique governance structure. In the traditional cryptocurrency community, a small group of individuals or companies typically make all the decisions. However, Cardano's governance structure is decentralized, meaning everyone has a say in how the platform is run. This approach is strangely rare in the world of cryptocurrencies, but it reflects a more democratic, inclusive approach that is vital to the platform's success. Yes, indeedy. Cardano's momentum, building for the future. Although Cardano is still relatively new compared to other cryptocurrencies, it has already gained momentum. Really? That's an understatement. It is attracting developers and projects, several already being built on its platform. Good signs for the company's future success. However, like any new technology, questions remain about how it will compete with other cryptocurrencies over time, especially in light of the evolving regulatory system for cryptocurrencies in the US and worldwide. Oh boy. However, Cardano's unique approach to development and governance makes it an exciting platform to watch. That's part of Hoskinson's better than Ethereum system design, drawing strength from the wisdom of crowds. The climb back to $1 and beyond may not happen overnight, but I do expect this name to stick around the cryptocurrency industry for the long haul. Cardano's vibrant developer community and robust technical underpinnings provide plenty of potential for long-term success. And then it goes into should you buy it, and then it says join our newsletter. So I love this. I absolutely love this because it was very clear. It was very real. And this just came out March 5th of 2023. And this is written by Anders Byland. I will follow you, sir, because I am moved by your analysis. Fooling around since 2006, known to write everything from poetry to white papers. All right, well, Mr. Anders, thank you for your support. I commend you, sir, on a job well done and an article well written. So, yeah, I love Motley Fool, and I was honestly, I was going into it with no bias. Like, I love Motley Fool regardless, but I was very much curious what they had to say about Cardano, and lo and behold, they approve, they love it, and yeah. So, yeah, I feel great about that. Do I feel a little giddy? Yes, I do feel like this is a big win. Why? Because you have a website with a huge name in traditional markets, okay, a huge name for helping people learn investing and understanding, different investments and every kind of portfolio. I've read so many of these newsletters from Motley Fool. I almost wish I was an affiliate. I would be an affiliate. I don't even know if they have an affiliate program, but I would probably push them religiously if there was one. I just never think about it because I didn't even realize they were that into crypto yet. So now that I know they are, I might start referring to them quite a bit more. And and another little thing, just to let everybody know, I am likely going to start playing around with some profit trailer again soon. Why? Because my primary developer, like Crow Trader, still works and it's still functional. He had to strip out Coinbase because Coinbase made a whole bunch of changes and it was just too much to keep up with on a regular basis, but it's still fully functional on KuCoin and I think Binance US and Binance, if I'm not mistaken. But at the very least, KuCoin is still very much active. And I love my Crow Trader, but I have not been using it for the longest time. And in order for me to use it, I have to keep 100%, I have to keep a connection to my internet. I disconnect everything. When I'm not in my office, there's nothing connected to the internet. And so I can't really use the bot unless I'm sitting here monitoring it, or I run it from a VPN or a VPS, which I've done in the past, but that can create some issues as well. And you know what? I don't really see any reason why I can't do both. And so I am very much interested in going back into my roots, going back into Profit Trailer. Profit Trailer is no longer a standalone application I can run on my computer. It runs from a cloud-based system, which is fine. But I posted in there, I sent a message to Elroy because I want to ask some questions. I'm going to get a little more involved. I need to get reacclimated to the software and start using it for a little while, but I just wanted to let you guys know that there may be some more Profit Trailer content coming in the future, once I get my head wrapped around the nuances and all the changes, because it's changed quite a bit over the years. But I really do miss bot trading. I mean, I miss it and I love it. And I loved playing with different strategies, sharing those strategies, setting up something at night and then coming back in the morning and find I made $1,000 overnight automatically. I miss that. And I've had some moments like that with Crow Trader as well. But, Profit Trailer lets you basically trade everything on an exchange all at one time. Crow Trader doesn't. With Crow Trader, you have to pick what pairs you want. You can't just set an algorithm and say any of these pairs that match this algorithm you buy and you sell. You have to do everything individually, which to me is kind of a bear, and maybe something that we adjust or change in the future. But ultimately, Profit Trailer, I definitely want to start diving back into in a real way. So, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Make sure you grab yourself a Murder of Crows NFT because it supports me, and that's really the only main reason. If you love the birds, you love the crow, and you love the community, no better way of showing it off than grabbing an NFT. I think we're at a point now where we're getting close to have sold out, and I'm pretty sure that sales of these NFTs close in 2024. So whatever we haven't sold by 2024, they're not going to be possible. And I have to double check on the date. Maybe I'll announce that maybe once we get closer to 24. But I really would like to see this collection sell out entirely and make sure everyone has them, especially as we get closer to new developments in Cornucopias. So that is that. So listen, folks, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I don't want to drag this out too long. And there's a lot of stuff in the comments. I saw a comment at one point that people like, he doesn't read these. I do read those. I do read a lot of the live chat comments. I typically read them afterwards though, unless I'm doing an AMA of some sort and I want to answer a lot of questions. But if I'm trying to keep the time down in a video, I typically don't go through all of them. And I definitely read everything in the comments below. So if you haven't already, please like the video, share it with some friends if you think it'll help them in any way, shape, or form, and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when I do more content in the near future. And until next time, guys, crow your coins. I will see you soon.